Okay, we're here with our next stranger. All right, so I'll ask the question. What is your name and tell us a little about yourself?
Well, my name is Luke, and there's not really much to know about me. I mean, I'm 16. I enjoy hanging out with people, but
Cool. What do you think about, are you from the US?
yeah.
Cool. What do you think about all the stuff that's going on here? What are your thoughts on it? Oh my God.
Sorry, I think the mailman's here. Clutch. Hey, hey, Clutch. Hey. Sorry. Uh, I mean, honestly, I was probably one of the people that just like kind of wasn't concerned. I feel kind of carefree just about this whole thing, but that's just because something about me, like I haven't been sick in like 5 years. I'm a really healthy person and I don't really go anywhere. I'm usually like inside. So it's like I wasn't really too worried about getting it. But what's going around this time, like the riots, I thought, in my opinion, the riots were kind of unnecessary because rioting isn't going to help anything for the Black Lives community, you know? And I get that like the creators of the protest didn't plan on that happening, but you kind of have to have a little bit of common sense. Like, yeah, there are people angry. This might cause a riot. You know,
What do you think about, like, what could the Black Lives Matter movement be doing better, you think?
I think that they need to have more of a social presence, not because the protesting has come a long ways, and yes, we can still protest in real life, but also if you can take over like the internet, like if you can have more of an internet presence, more people would see it from across the world. People from different countries might want to help. It's just I feel like more people will see it more if it's more intended to be online.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you have any black friends that you've talked to about Black Lives Matter at all?
Yeah, one of the people I was just hanging out with is a person of color, and it's just like we were talking about it. He was like, "I think that the riots are fucking overrated, and I don't think they should have happened." But like, they what he told me is they were raised that he was raised to think that some people are scared of them because of how we treated them in the past. So they kind of grow up knowing that we might fear them, but it's always relieving for them to know that the person that they meet isn't a racist or isn't going to judge them for being black. It just,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a crazy world out there. I don't know. My perspective is that I think it was good that the protests were happening because it brought a lot of attention to it, a lot of media attention, and that kind of sustained the conversation about it, and that the rioting, of course, is any kind of violence is. For me at least, whenever violence comes into it, it hurts whatever kind of mission non-violent protests have, but I don't know. There were a lot of like kind of news outlets, kind of reporting that the people who were rioting were actually like white people, like whenever it like got dark out, like a bunch of white people came out and like rioted, and then of course that started being conflated with the protests, and I don't know.
yeah,
It's
I
it's
mean,
confusing. It's a confusing time. You know what I mean?
it is.
Um,
And I personally, I don't believe the world is ever going to go back to exactly how it was because, like when you shatter a plate, there's always going to be a few things missing, a few like tiny pieces. But
well,
I do think
oh yeah, go for it. I'm sorry.
I do think that eventually we will. It's going to take a shit ton of time and an actual cure. But
Are you in a state that's locking down pretty hard on it, or are you?
we were, and then one of my cities made it to where you can be fined like up to like $500 for not having a mask on if you're in public. But
Well, could I ask
look,
you what state you're in?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay, you're the first person from Oklahoma that has been on here. So that's interesting. Do you think that Oklahoma and Texas are handling things pretty differently? Do you know?
I don't really know much about what Texas is doing, but personally, Oklahoma's kind of handling it well. I think that, in my opinion, the city did what they could with the riots that happened here, but it's just there's too much drama for me to really want to keep up.
What is it like living in Oklahoma? Have you lived there your whole life?
Yes, I have lived here my whole life. I think there's like a few times where I go out of state. I went to DC a few years ago. I visited my sister in Illinois.
What do you think is different about Oklahoma than other places in the country and around the world?
Uh, well, we do not still live in teepees. Every person I've talked to, like, wait, how do you have internet in Oklahoma? I thought it was like some farmland. I'm like, yes, like there is some portions of Oklahoma that is meant for farms, but that's more northern than it is. But I live in a populated city, so I wouldn't say that there's much different than growing up. Obviously, the people here are different. I will say this: the amount of the white people are actually scarce in the school I go to. So, from what I heard, it was one of my school is either the most or the second most diverse school in Oklahoma. So I always kind of grew up around these people. So like I always knew, like, why the fuck would I care what color you are? You know, I just kind of grew up thinking like, oh, person, friend. I don't give a shit what color you are, what religion you are. Like, as long as you don't try to fucking preach that shit on me, then.
Interesting. Yeah, what's interesting is like, well, I guess I'm interested in like the kind of impact that the Native American culture has down where you are, because I think that's probably still pretty present, right? Or what do you think?
I mean, personally, the presence is still here. They have their few spots in Oklahoma where they have like their reserves and like where they really live mostly. But I haven't really been affected by them too much. Like it's just kind of, if you're Native American and you have enough percent, you go down there to make sure like you get the money that you can get since you're 18 or graduated or something. But it's not too much of a impact. It's just more of a presence.
Cool. Interesting. And when you were talking about like, it doesn't really matter what a person's race is or what their religion is. It's interesting that religion came up first. Is religion is that a pretty strong influence down there?
Yes, most people down here are Christian, Catholic, some form of that. And personally, I'm an atheist, so when people try to preach their religion on me, it's just like, I believe what I believe, and as long as you don't try to force that upon me, like we can be cool, but I'm probably not going to believe in what you believe.
Do you find that most people that are religious kind of force their beliefs on you, or
No, mainly because I shut those people out. Basically, sixth grade is when it started, and I fucking had it at seventh grade. But my whole sixth grade year, my friends would be like, "Oh, you should try to come to church with me, see the vision." So I went once, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't change my perspective on anything. So I was like, okay. And then they keep saying that, like, "Oh yeah, you need to come, like, believe in God. God will help you with your sadness and depression." I'm like, it's not like it. Just kind of got to the point where I was just too stressed, and I need to shut out everyone that tried.
well, have you had a positive experience with school? Like, what is school like?
School is I'm not the biggest fan of learning, but school is the only place that I really feel a sense of safeness and like relief, just because I'm able to talk to my friends. I'm able to have friends. You know, I kind of grew up being antisocial and not having too many friends. So the friends that I do get, I cherish more. So.
Oh, interesting. Do you have siblings?
I have a singular sister, and she's like 9 years older than me.
Okay. So she's out of the house and kind of doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd want to talk about, or any thoughts that you think that other people may benefit from hearing from you?
Um, I don't know if it's against YouTube's TOS to talk about marijuana, but I don't know.
No, please. That's fine. That's fine.
So I am 16. Where I live, it is technically illegal without a medical card to smoke, but I believe that it should be available. I think it should be recreational, especially for the people that have like really bad anxiety or depression, because in my experience, marijuana has helped me get past that, and I have severe anxiety. And so whenever I smoke, that kind of helps relieve it for the time I am high, and I'm actually able to function within public.
With,
But
with anxiety, like, where do you think that stems from? Is it a chemical thing? Is it a social thing?
well, I've always had social anxiety. Like, there's no questioning that. But I do believe that getting made fun of a lot in elementary school and middle school, it was kind of the point where anxiety of like what people think of me or like what I'm gonna do, like how to talk to people. That's where that stems from for me.
Mm. So you were bullied when you were younger.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I ask you a little bit about that? That seems to be a pervasive theme with a lot of the people I've talked to, bullying. And like, what was it that you were bullied for, or like what was it you think that sticks with you even to this day?
That sticks with me, I would say definitely my personality, how I act, my looks. I was always the bigger kid. I was always more emotional than everyone else, so that kind of stuck with me. So I learned to hide my emotions and keep them bottled up, and that's kind of what I currently do. Just because I haven't found a better way to release the yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, it was really really brave of you to to talk about that, man. That's yeah. Thank you for sharing. And there are people listening who feel the same way. I'm sure I was bullied, and like what you're talking about is resonating with me. So thanks, dude. Yeah. Um. Okay. Any last words?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool, dude. All right. So, if you could send me, hold on one second, Billing. If you could send me a picture of yourself to that email, I'll use that for a thumbnail for the video. So whatever picture you'd like on that, just let me know, okay?
All right. Let me.
And cool. I'm gonna take the recording off right now. All right.